Trump has moved 2 nuclear submarines to the waters close to Russia.
President Trump says he's ordered the deployment of 2 U.S. nuclear submarines to the appropriate regions in response to threats from the former Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev.
Donald Trump has just taken one of the boldest steps in recent years by deploying U.S. submarines close to Russia's borders, a move that's sending shockwaves across the globe. While it's being portrayed as a strong message to Moscow, the ripple effects could go far beyond geopolitics and start hitting the U.S. economy in unexpected ways. From skyrocketing defense spending to rising oil prices and market volatility, this decision could change the financial landscape in ways most people aren't even thinking about. In today's video, we're diving deep into what this really means for America's economy and how it could impact everything from Wall Street to your wallet. Stick around till the end, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our updates on the biggest stories shaping the world. Trump's recent move to send U.S. submarines closer to Russian borders is not just a military gesture, it's a high-stakes geopolitical maneuver that's creating layers of economic uncertainty back home. By intensifying tensions with Russia, this escalation raises immediate concerns for global energy stability, supply chain integrity, and U.S. corporate exposure in the European and Eastern markets. One of the most direct effects will be on the global oil and gas sector.
And today it hit $64 a barrel, which is great. We have the number one, we have the most oil of any country in the world, even more than them, which is hard to believe.
With Russia being one of the world's top energy exporters, any perceived threat or escalation in the region drives up oil prices rapidly. Already, crude prices have begun to tick upward in response to increased fears of confrontation. This means U.S.-based companies that rely heavily on fuel, such as airlines like Delta, United, and American Airlines, logistics firms FedEx, UPS, and shipping companies are likely to see increased operating costs almost immediately. These cost surges often translate to higher prices for consumers and tighter margins for businesses. Defense contractors, on the other hand, could benefit in the short term. Companies like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics may experience a rise in defense spending and military contracts as the U.S. ramps up its readiness posture. However, this increased focus on military expansion pulls budgetary attention away from infrastructure, education, and healthcare sectors that might face cutbacks if government priorities shift. Another area of concern is the agricultural and manufacturing sectors. In past geopolitical escalations, Russia has responded with countermeasures that include trade bans or sanctions on American goods. If Moscow retaliates economically, U.S. exporters of agricultural products, heavy machinery, and vehicles could face losses similar to those seen during previous sanction rounds. This means firms like Deere & Company, Caterpillar, and even Ford, already hit by recent tariffs, may face further disruption. Furthermore, the financial markets are likely to remain volatile. Investors tend to pull back from equities and move towards safe havens like gold or U.S. Treasury bonds during geopolitical uncertainty. This impacts Wall Street giants like J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley, especially as European clients hedge against potential regional fallout. Big tech companies also face indirect risks. With Russia pushing harder for digital sovereignty, companies like Google, Apple, and Microsoft may see further access restrictions in Russian markets, data flow complications, and compliance headaches tied to international sanctions. This action could also spark a new round of diplomatic tension with European allies. Many NATO members are already wary of unpredictable escalations, and any rift between the U.S. and Europe could result in reduced cooperation on tech trade, defense projects, and joint economic initiatives. That places multinational corporations operating across U.S.-EU borders such as Boeing, IBM, and even automakers like Tesla and GM in a more complex regulatory and strategic environment. In short, while the submarine deployment may look like a sharp strategic move against Russian aggression, its ripple effects are vast and economically destabilizing. From rising oil prices and potential sanctions to shifting defense budgets and market shocks, this one decision could echo through nearly every major U.S. industry in the months to come. As we've seen, what might seem like a strong geopolitical stance can quietly unleash deep economic consequences back home. From rising fuel costs, squeezing transportation and logistics companies, to added pressure on manufacturers tech giants, and agricultural exporters. Trump's decision to send submarines near Russia doesn't just shift military lines, it shifts balance sheets. Defense contractors may see a boost, but that gain could come at the cost of wider economic stability and strained international trade relationships. These ripple effects remind us that global tension isn't just about politics, it's about everyday costs, company futures, and the health of an interconnected economy. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown on how decisions made on the global stage are silently rewriting America's economic landscape.